In the Philippines, a beautiful archipelago nation teeming with life and culture, a shadow lurks. A silent but dangerous enemy continues to spread, weaving its way through communities, unnoticed by many, yet impacting countless lives. It's a threat that doesn't discriminate, lurking in the shadows of our bustling cities and quiet barrios. The human immunodeficiency virus, or HIV, a virus that weakens the immune system, making individuals susceptible to life-threatening infections and diseases. It doesn't pick based on age. From the young to the old, no one is immune. Gender, men, women, and those who identify beyond the binary are all equally at risk, or social status. Whether rich or poor, educated or not, HIV doesn't care about your place in society. Many mistakenly think it's far from them, that it only affects certain groups or communities. But the truth is, it's closer than we think. It could be a neighbor, a friend, a family member, or even ourselves. Talking about HIV is often covered in fear and shame, shrouded in stigma and misinformation. This creates a culture of silence that allows the virus to spread unchecked, which is why many hesitate to get tested. The fear of knowing, the fear of judgment, keeps people from seeking the help they need. But silence isn't the answer. It's a breeding ground for ignorance and further transmission. It only makes the situation worse, allowing the virus to silently claim more victims. Every day, the number of infected people grows, placing an increasing strain on our healthcare system and our communities. The Philippines is among the countries, a statistic that should alarm us all, with the fastest rising HIV cases in Asia Pacific, a grim reminder of the urgent need for change. This isn't an award, a recognition to be proud of, but a call for urgent action, a call to break the silence, to challenge the stigma, and to empower ourselves with knowledge. Knowledge is our weapon, the most powerful tool we have to combat this epidemic. We need to know how it's caught, the modes of transmission, and the myths that surround them. How to prevent it, the safe practices and precautions we can take to protect ourselves and our loved ones. And what to do if you test positive. Understanding the treatment options available and the support systems in place. In this series, we'll talk about why HIV is spreading fast, exploring the social, cultural, and economic factors that contribute to its rapid transmission, and how we can help, how we can contribute to creating a more informed, compassionate, and supportive society. The fight against HIV is all of our fight. It requires a collective effort, a united front against a common enemy. Not to scare, not to instill fear or panic, but to open eyes and give courage to act, to empower individuals to take control of their health and well-being. Change starts with the right information and open talks. Let's break the silence, challenge the stigma, and work together towards a healthier future for the Philippines. Let's look at the numbers. Over 140,000 HIV cases have been recorded in the Philippines since 1984. More worrying, from one new case every day in 2010, it has now reached almost 50 per day in recent years. The Philippines has the fastest growing HIV epidemic in Asia Pacific. Behind every number is a life, a child, a sibling, a friend. Many don't find out their status right away because of fear, stigma, and not enough access to testing. Late diagnosis causes worse problems and a higher chance of passing on the virus. It's not too late. These numbers are a warning that we need to act. Understanding how big the problem is the first step to a solution. We all have a part in this fight. So who is most affected? In the Philippines, most new cases are from men who have sex with men, almost 85% according to the DOH. Cases are also increasing among young people aged 15, 34, especially 15, 24. Lack of sex education, peer pressure, and stigma are some reasons for their risk. The risk is also high for people who inject drugs and transgender women, who often face unfair treatment. This isn't to judge, but to find out where help and education should be focused. Everyone has the right to live healthy and with support. Understanding their situation is the start of change. A lack of full sex education is one of the main problems. Many young people don't have the right information and rely on wrong news from the internet or friends. Stigma and unfair treatment stop many from getting tested or asking for help. The fear of being judged or losing a job stops them from finding out their status. Limited access to testing and treatment, especially in far-off places, makes the situation worse. The cycle of lack of education and stigma needs to be broken. If it's not easy to get tested or get medicine, the spread of the virus gets worse. We need open talks and more available services. We're about to share a powerful story, a narrative that echoes the experiences of many. It's a story of resilience, hope, and the importance of understanding. Let's hear the story of Alex, a young man whose life took an unexpected turn when he tested positive for HIV at the age of 22. This diagnosis came at a time when he was just starting to build his future, filled with dreams and aspirations. His first feeling was fear, a natural human reaction when faced with the unknown. It was a fear that gripped him, a fear that threatened to consume him. Not just of the illness itself and the potential health challenges it presented, but also a deeper, more profound fear. The fear was about how his family and friends would react, whether they would understand, and ultimately, whether they would accept him. The stigma surrounding HIV can be a heavy burden to bear. He stayed inside, isolating himself from the world for weeks on end. The four walls of his room became his prison, and the silence amplified his anxieties. He felt lost and lost hope because of the stigma associated with the virus, the misconceptions, and the lack of understanding in society. It seemed like the weight of the world was on his shoulders. But everything changed when he found the courage to reach out and connect with a support group. This group became his lifeline, a safe space where he could share his fears and find solace in the shared experiences of others. Through counseling and education, he learned that HIV isn't a death sentence, as it was once perceived. He discovered that with proper care and treatment, he could still live a fulfilling life. With consistent adherence to antiretroviral therapy, the virus could be effectively managed, allowing him to regain control of his health. He can live a normal and healthy life, pursuing his passions and building meaningful relationships. The best part is that medicine is readily available and free from the government, ensuring that everyone has access to the treatment they need. And here's the incredible part. When the virus is undetectable through consistent treatment, it can't be passed on to others, breaking the chain of transmission. Now, Alex has transformed his experience into a powerful force for good. He is an advocate for HIV awareness, using his voice to educate others and challenge the misconceptions surrounding the virus. He is giving hope to those who are newly diagnosed and fighting the stigma that prevents people from seeking help. His message is simple yet profound. Don't be afraid to get tested, know your status, and ask for help if you need it. Early detection and treatment can make all the difference. Behind every number, behind every statistic, is a real person with a story to tell, with dreams, aspirations, and a family who loves and supports them. Lack of knowledge and fear of stigma are far more dangerous than the virus itself. Education and understanding are key to overcoming this challenge. Alex's bravery in facing his diagnosis and becoming an advocate saved his life and inspires countless others. His story is a powerful reminder that there is always hope, even in the darkest of times. Let's fight fear with knowledge, stigma with compassion, and help each other create a more inclusive and understanding society. HIV testing is the first step, but Filipinos face many challenges. Far-off places, not enough facilities, and travel costs are some of the problems. Fear of stigma and shame stop others from getting tested. Keeping results private is a big worry. Many are afraid the information will spread. If someone tests positive, the next challenge is treatment. Art is free, but not always easy to get. Regular visits to a treatment center are hard for some, especially if it's far or there's not enough medicine. Sticking to treatment is for life and a big change. Mental health support is important. Sadness and worry can affect treatment. Strong emotional support from family, friends, and healthcare providers is needed. Without support, it's harder to fight HIV. We need to act together against HIV. Make sex education stronger in schools and communities as per the law, and make sure it's followed. Break down stigma by talking openly. Make talking about HIV normal. Media, churches, and community leaders have a big role in spreading the right information. Make testing and treatment more available, especially in far-off places and through self-testing kits. Make sure there's enough medicine and services that are friendly to young people and LGBTQ+ people. Strengthen the support system. Not just medicine, but mental health and peer counseling. NGOs and the government should work together for full support. A strong support system is key to successful treatment. The future of the Philippines in the fight against HIV doesn't rest solely on the shoulders of a few. It's a shared responsibility, a collective effort that requires each and every one of us to step up and take ownership. It is in our hands, the hands of every Filipino, young and old, from all walks of life. We shouldn't lose hope. Let's not allow despair to cloud our vision. Instead, let's transform this awareness into a powerful call to action. A call to educate, to advocate, to support, and to demand change. Let's amplify our voices and work together towards a healthier future. Change starts with each person, with individual choices and actions. Every single step we take, no matter how small, contributes to the larger movement. It's not just the government's responsibility, although their role is crucial. Real change comes from the ground up, from the hearts and minds of the Filipino people. Imagine a Philippines where talking about HIV is open, where conversations flow freely within families, communities, and workplaces. A Philippines where there's no stigma attached to HIV, where people living with HIV are treated with dignity, respect, and compassion. Make testing a regular thing. Normalize it. See it as an act of self-love and a profound expression of love and responsibility for others, for your family, and for your community. Be a voice of truth and unwavering support in your community. Speak out against misinformation and advocate for understanding. Fight against wrong ideas and the spread of fake news that fuels fear and discrimination. Arm yourself with facts and share them widely. Make people living with HIV feel like they're not alone, because they are not. Offer them your friendship, your understanding, and your unwavering support. Ask leaders at every level to make the health and well-being of every Filipino a top priority, demanding access to quality healthcare and comprehensive HIV prevention and treatment services. The fight against HIV is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It needs unwavering teamwork, relentless determination, and a shared commitment to reaching the finish line together. With every step, every action, every conversation, we get closer to a future free from the shadow of HIV, a future with no new HIV cases, a future where everyone can live a healthy and fulfilling life. Together, united in purpose and driven by compassion, let's change the story. Let's rewrite the narrative of HIV in the Philippines. Let's create a brighter, healthier future for the lives of everyone, especially the future generations of Filipinos who deserve to inherit a nation free from the burden of HIV.